Aloha Worm Ohana. We are here at the Waialae Street Worm Collective compound where I have my 3 bins, and we have 4 households that contribute their food waste to my little collection. And I'm really excited because it's week 12. So you guys are in week 12 too. 3 months. 3 months is the time it takes to really establish your worm ecosystem. So we're going to take a look at how my worms are doing. We visited them on week 8, and you saw I had wads of babies. You know, I was taking out handfuls, and you can see those little guys squirming around, wads of babies. Well, it's been an extra month, so let's see what it looks like on week 12. And you can take a look in your worm bin and see where you're at too, because this is the magic moment where I feel like your worm colony, your worm ecosystem is fully developed, and in the next 3 months, as your worms mature, they will really get established and give you the information you need to move forward. So let's take a look at our bins. So this one in the middle is the one I started with the workshop at the end of June, and the other 2 are having their first anniversary today because we did this with our original worm Ohana. So they have been harvested and rebed now for the 2nd time. So they're pretty well full. I'm guessing I've got about 2.5 to 3 pounds of very hungry worms in these 2 outer bins, and they're really grinding through it and producing nice full finished vermicast very quickly. And my new guys, let's take a look. I'm so excited to see how we're doing on week 12. I hope you'll do the same. So let's take a look. Come on in. We'll take a look at our guys. So they get fed tomorrow, and they'll be fed on this side where you can see they have pretty much gone through the 5.5, 6 pounds I fed them. Oh, look, they cleaned up that mango pit pretty well. Ooh, and it looks like it's split. I wonder if I have any in there. Oh, I have a mango that's sprouting. I'll let them eat it. You know, they will eventually eat the inside of the mango pit, but they sure do a good job of cleaning it. I'll probably take that. I'll leave this in here for them to eat, but I'm going to take out the shell because that is not going to break down in a long time. And I'm just going to remove it because it's taking up space. So you can see they've pretty much finished. And when I dig down, I still see a few wads of babies, and it's okay. But let's look over here on the feeding side and see what's happened to my little wads of baby worms. And oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I now have hordes of hungry teenagers. Lots and lots of juveniles. You can tell they're juveniles because they haven't developed their clitellum yet, and they're still fairly small. But my little wads of babies are now hordes of hungry juveniles. And I'm really happy because they are grinding through 5, 6 pounds of food waste a week with no trouble whatsoever. Now, it's perfectly okay for you to go dig down. You're not bothering them at all to see what's going on. If it bothers you to have your hands in the goop, well, just put on some gloves. But take a look and see how your worms are doing. So from my original 1/4 pound, I'm sure I have, maybe a couple of pounds of young worms in here. So on target, on schedule, they are growing, reproducing, feeding, and doing great. So they are about halfway through last week's feeding, and they'll get fed tomorrow. And oh yeah, isn't that cool? I hope you guys have lots of worms. And if you don't, it could just be you're not feeding them enough. So don't let me bully you into feeding your worms more. Oh, there's another nice clean mango pit. I'll take that out. Feeding your worms more than you have enough food for. Oh, there's lots of worms in here. I'll let them finish. You see that? I got little tiny worms cleaning out the mango pit on the inside. They just never end. They want every little scrap of decaying organic matter they can get their little sucky mouths around. They love mango. Mango season makes worms very happy. And my worms are very happy. And it smells great. It smells like earth. And I am thrilled that halfway through at my 12-week checkup, my worms are doing great. Oh, look, it's an earwig. we'll talk about the different members of the invertebrate crew a little later on, but I'm glad to have them in here helping these guys out, because as you've discovered, it takes a community of decomposers to create a great worm bin ecosystem. It's not just worms, it's a community. And everybody in here is doing some great work, and I am real thrilled. So today I'll feed, I'll refresh the paper cover a little bit, and I'll continue to water every day. Keep them happy, keep them healthy, keep them fed. And yeah, take a look at your 12th week worm bin and see how you're doing. So my bias, because it's my job and it's my joy, is to grow as many worms as possible, whoops, and to get rid of as much food waste as possible. That's what I do for a living. So my bias is more food, more worms, grow, grow, grow. But that may not be what your household is all about. You may be just having 2 pounds of food waste a week, and maybe you have about a pound and a half of worms, and that's as big as your colony is going to grow, and that's fine. So this isn't some kind of competition to grow more worms than the next guy. The goal is to grow your worm colony out to fit what is needed to take care of the food waste generated by your household. Now that can change from time to time depending on people come and go, and seasons of fruits and veggies come and go, but after a year, or like in my 2 bins here, it will really stabilize. So that's why I really enjoy keeping track, and that's why in about 3 months or so we'll do a harvest. That will tell us where we stand. You'll probably have pretty close to the maximum amount of worms your household can sustain when we're done with our 6 months. And we'll harvest out, we'll get some vermicast out of it, we'll rebed, and the colony will mature and the worms will get bigger. If they need to add more to handle more food waste, they will. If they need to shrink a little bit, they will just simply stop reproducing, let the older ones die off, and they will match you. That's what's kind of cool about these guys, is that they will match whatever your needs are. And it's funny, I've looked in zillions of worm bins from everybody's household, and they all are slightly different. Depends on the content of your food, depends on what your needs are, and it really differs. People with lots of salad greens and light stuff are not going to have quite the robust worms as the people that have grains and baked goods and other stuff that they're including with their weekly feeding. But whatever you're doing, if at 12 weeks your bin looks healthy and happy, you're absolutely on the right track. I'm really proud of you for hanging in there, because the first 3 months is a little tricky and you're nervous and you're scared, but by now you should relax. We know the worms are doing the right thing. They're healthy, they're happy, they're growing or they're stabilizing, and they're fine. So enjoy, 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 and remember, report your data so we can watch those numbers jump, because it really makes me happy. Every single night before I go to bed, I look at that number, and I'm thrilled to see how much waste we are diverting with our worm colonies in the worm Ohana. So again, thank you for hanging in. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for your notes whenever you send your food waste report to us. And let's keep up the good work. In 3 months, we'll plan a harvest party and see where we're at then. So have fun. Mahalo. See you later. Aloha.